crazy.
Right,
so
let me introduce the show. I think you guys, I know you did.
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Let's have fun.
I did a thumbnail with Biden's new legal problems, and I put him in a prison cell with a Yakuza member, like that was wearing his underwear. And I had Hunter Biden laying down on the bunk smoking crack, staring at him, scared.
Yeah, that was Bill and I talked about that there on my books on Yakuza.
All right, so we're going to start exactly 11 minutes in.
All right.
Thank you for joining William Steele True Crime and Steele Spotlight Television. Joining me today, my usual co-host, ATF Special Agent Retired Ignacio Esteban.
Hey.
And true crime extraordinaire, Matt Cox, former everything. This man was a swindler of the greatest magnitude, has turned his life around. Now he's got an incredible inside true crime. And I'll let him tell you more about himself. But thank you guys for joining. We're going to head into a political show here for a moment. And it's going to be just updating us on the state of politics in this country. So who wants to start it off?
I can start. I got some ideas. I saw some of the highlights here from the Republican debate. They get worse and worse. The first one was a circus. This is an absolute clown show. What happened yesterday? And I think no wonder why Trump laughs. He doesn't show up to them. He ends up being the biggest winner because he shows up. He doesn't get involved in all the mess that goes on. They just attack each other. It's one-line zingers. They hit each other. Nikki Haley had a good one with Vivek Ramaswamy. Like, she that's our target right now. She goes back and forth with him based on all this stuff. I said, based on all the stuff you say, especially what you said at TikTok, every time I listen to you, I get a little bit dumber every time. That's Nikki Haley, former governor of South Carolina, just slamming. She just goes after him back. And then you have Chris Christie looking at the cameras and saying, calling pretty much Trump a coward for not coming on and saying your nickname now is going to be Donald the Duck. He calls him Donald Duck because he ducks the debates. So that's, how Donald likes to give nicknames to people. So now his nickname for Donald is Donald Duck. He likes to duck the benefit.
What's the benefit for him to go?
They're done.
Like
he has a huge lead.
Right. Like he's like, there's no benefit. The only benefit for him going is for the other candidate. So why would I do that? That's just smart. It's just,
he's being smart. He's being smart. If he was a tight race, then you got to show up,
right?
Because he's got a huge lead. I mean, like 30 some points. DeSantis is even slipping. I know Bill is a big fan of Ron DeSantis, right, Bill?
No, I can't stand even though I lean more Republican, he was willing to let everybody die in prison in Florida during COVID, whereas other governors were letting nonviolent short timers out, and so I couldn't get released because of him. So I could have easily died. Right.
Yeah, I know Bill and I've had this discussion. I think Matt's had a discussion a little bit with Bill also. He's not a big Ron DeSantis guy, but I just think like Trump's runaway.
I like him, but I also am able to compartmentalize people. Like if I can like somebody in one aspect of their life and say, like this is a great guy. Like, listen, I have a guy that there are guys that I was in prison with that are like, hey, this is a great guy. I love hanging out with him. He's also a thief. So I don't lend him money, but I love spending time with him. But if we could hang out for, 6 months or so, and then if one day he says, hey, bro, could you buy me like a 6-pack of soda and I'll get you next week? I'd be like, yeah, I'm good, bro. Like, I like you. I like hanging out with you. I like playing cards with you. I like joking with you. I like your stories. But the truth is, I'll never see that fucking soda again. And I'm not a mark. But hey, we're cool. So, listen, I could date Casey Anthony. She's not watching my kids.
No, hell no.
We're not having children. Or if she said, hey, can I babysit your nephews? I'd be like, oh, Casey, you can't babysit the children.
But talk about dating women like that.
But she seems like she'd be a lot of fun.
How about Lauren Boebert then?
Who? I don't know who that
is. That's what it means.
How about Lauren Boebert? You guys haven't seen it? And then the congresswoman from Colorado. What happened?
No.
She's an ultra MAGA. She's up there with Matt Gaetz and up there with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene is.
She's the one that yells all the time. She's in Congress, right?
Yes. Yeah, Lauren Boebert. So if you haven't seen this has been all over the news. The biggest story in politics before the debate. I think the debate now pushed her in the back a little bit, so she got lucky. She's happy that the debates came in because it kind of helped her. But a little background about her. She's 36 years old. She started having kids when she was out of high school. She had, I think, GED. She should never have won a political office in Colorado. She won because she's a ultra MAGA, very pro gun rights, which is great, but she has issues where she's not really prepared. She just recently became a grandmother. She's a 36-year-old grandmother. Okay, her kid was 18, just had a kid, all that. All right, it's out there. She got a divorce. Her husband's a disaster, right? Happened there. So she's now starting back in the dating scene. She went to see Beetlejuice in Denver at a theater, right? Thinking that it's really dark, but she's obnoxious. And remember, she's a congresswoman. She's vaping first inside. She's vaping. You can't be vaping inside there. They told her, the pregnant woman behind her said, hey, I'm pregnant. I need you to stop. She says, no. She's a congresswoman, vaping, pregnant behind her. Then her male companion starts groping her boobs.
Oh, right? Okay. I've seen this.
She becomes now Lauren Boebert. She's not anymore Boebert now. So she has art like that. And remember, this is a family show, Beetlejuice. So you have kids watching, and then she starts groping his crotch. So so you have the picture that thinking is dark, but not realizing that the cameras are so good. And for a red, it's like everybody could see what was going on.
Right.
So eventually everybody starts complaining these two are out of control. And on top of that, she's taking pictures. Can't be doing that. Right. And then she's singing really loud and obnoxious. And she's like this, waving her hand. She's like the most obnoxious person there. And everybody knows, man, that's our congressperson. Right. That's our representative. So they get escorted. They've been told the police come and ask her to leave. And she says, do you know who I am? You know how that, and then at the end, she gives the middle salute. You know, we all know what the middle salute is. And she's a congresswoman out there. So
I guess that's what it came to. Who's the guy who runs around with a hoodie and shorts in Congress now? What the hell, the guy from Pennsylvania?
I saw that too.
Another
that's I got his name. I'm glad you told me. I brought him up too. What a disgrace that is. And that came from the Senate to have to lower the dress code. Why are you doing that? No, you need to be in suits. You get paid enough. You should show respect to the Constitution, respect to these institutions. Why would you be dressed like that in there? Absolutely unacceptable.
There should be a certain decorum and attire.
There has to be.
With a judge. Judges are in robes for a reason. It kind of sets them apart. Do you want a judge sitting on the bench in shorts and tank tops?
It's like in court. If I testify in front of a jury, I got to be in a suit, right? Same with the prosecutor, the defense attorney. It's respect for the jury, respect for the court, respect for the rule of law. And this guy shows up like that, disgraceful. But going back to her, she got herself in big trouble. I think she's going to end up getting challenged in the primaries for sure, because I know Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, was not happy with her at all. And the majority is so slim, they might end up losing it because of she barely won last time. Barely. She's only been there 4 years. She barely won by like 400 votes. This might end up costing her big time. So Lauren Boebert, if you haven't seen the video, Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
that's what she's been doing. And then she lied about it. Did not realize she was. That's the thing about it. She said, no, I wasn't vaping. It must have been in there because of the show. It wasn't because of me. She was caught vaping. And then she was caught lying about them groping because she didn't think the cameras picked everything up. Then she later apologizes and said, she had a bad moment or whatever, but only because she was caught.
Yeah, but if she lied to a federal agent about it, she'd be charged with 5-year felonies each one, right?
Yeah, she should be. But do you know who I am? No, but then she'll issue a congressional subpoena and then gets him there to testify in her court. So she gets one, then she'll issue another one.
Matt, who do you want for president? If you want to go public with who you like in there?
I honestly, God, I can't believe you just mentioned his name too. What's the guy? No,
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yes,
Vivek Ramaswamy. No, what do you like Vivek for?
I just like him. I think he's new. I like his ideas. I like the. I think he's got charisma. I think he is young and presidential. Look, like take Obama. I didn't like Obama's politics, but I liked Obama.
Oh,
he came. Yeah, I liked him. Like, now, did I like his politics? No, I didn't like his politics.
I like his politics.
It's funny, like Trump, I like Trump's politics. I like what Trump stood for. But Trump as a person is kind of a jackass.
Yeah, I don't like him at all.
I like see me being from New York and knowing about Trump for all my life. I get him and his sarcasm and his silliness and his
he's funny,
making fun of things, right? He's
funny.
I don't agree with a lot of stuff he probably did in his personal life. Now, that being said, disclaimer: shout out to Peter Thicken, one of Donald Trump's attorneys, personal friend of mine. This right here is a shot at his conference room in Florida. So that's the lawyer you want between you and your problems, Peter Thicken. Anyway, thank you for the use of your conference room. But
so I know who you're voting for, Bill. Who are you voting for?
Well, that's what I want to ask you guys. Now, I know as a convicted felon, I can run for president.
You can't vote.
And 2 weeks
Can you
ago,
vote, Matt, or no?
Me, I'm still on federal probation. You have to request. You have to request to get your voting rights back.
Okay,
right.
so 2 weeks ago, I don't know.
So you have to finish your probational period before you can even do that. I didn't know you're still on probation. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Bill, you just got off probation.
Yeah, a few months ago. So 2 weeks ago, Matt, I don't know if you saw it on this show with him. He wants to run for Congress, and I announced formally that I'm running for president in 2028 because a felon can run for president.
Yeah,
and I'm already mapping out the path. Yeah. But
no, I said I was considering.
I love Trump. I love Trump's comment where he said, "Listen, if I get indicted one more time, it'll push me over the top." Like every time they indict him, they're not hurting him.
No.
Yeah, well, not yet. But I don't know what's going on. Also, civil matter. He might lose a lot of his businesses and buildings in New York City. It's getting bad. He's going to end up losing because of corruption is going there on the civil case, because he has a major civil case against him. Also, he has so many different criminal, civil matters going on. I sure wouldn't want to be. I know he's fundraising a lot of his money. Like Chris Christie brought a good point. He says, if you're worth this kind of money, why are you using all the money you're supposed to fundraise for a campaign for your legal troubles? Use your own money. Don't be so damn cheap.
Why would I use my own money when I can?
He's so rich.
Money? Why?
Yeah, but these are average people, man. You're a multi-billionaire.
They're giving of their own accord. Like I get it. Hey, you want to support me? Support me. Here's how you can do it. I'm not telling you to give me the money because I'm broke. Nobody thinks he's broke. That he's saying, hey, if you want to support me and you want to show your support and have me keep running, by all means, please help me pay my legal fees.
I find it interesting. Chris Christie, they didn't care. They've lost, obviously. They've had some issues in the past now, and they're going at it. But I found that an interesting take there with Trump. He said, "You're so rich, then show us."
I mean, Christie's an ass too. Listen, all those New York guys are just jackasses.
they all have that.
They really are. I mean,
thanks. I'm a New York guy.
I understand. I was aware when I said it.
I love you too. Don't forget, we're doing an interview in your living room here in a few weeks.
Are you going, Bill?
I don't know. He invited me. If I go down there, I have to go to Boca. Then I have to go up to Central Florida to see Samantha Markle. And then Matt said,
okay. Welcome to come down. Right, you're right there.
I'm not far from there, bro. I'm not far. I'm an hour and a half away.
I'm not going to say publicly where she is, but she's not far from you. So
and Matt's in Pasco, so he's already said we're in Wesley. So yeah.
You want to put your address out there? Go ahead. Let's hear
it. I would put my PO box out there.
Put the PO box. There you go.
All right,
I don't need anybody showing up. I already get these crazy random emails from crazy people.
I get it too.
Crazy stuff. It's like what? Like.
It's also interesting coming out. We talked about a little bit of Hunter Biden. We had a good show. Bill and I did was Yakuza. Talked about Hunter Biden. Those are some great pictures. You haven't seen those pictures from the laptop of Hunter Biden with smoking crack and all the other things he had.
Yeah,
unbelievable. He is probably the worst nightmare for a sitting president to have for any sort of child, even a son. Right? What a complete debacle disaster.
Jimmy Carter had his Billy Carter, the alcoholic. However, he wasn't trying to drag his brother down like this guy's trying to do. He's bombing his father and everything.
He's trying to drag everybody down and what a pay-to-play alleged scheme they had going on there. Unbelievable. He has no experience in the energy industry. How is he getting any money for anything in Ukraine or China? No, it's for his network and access to his father. That's all. The guy can't do anything but smoke crack. And that's all he could do. And he was horrible.
No matter the direction the next election goes, whether it goes to Biden or a Republican or whatever, the very next day he's going to pardon himself, his son, and everybody around him. So
I think he will. He'll pardon his son.
He will.
All right.
It's just amazing how despicable, all of that, and that these guys are just kind of, that the FBI and everybody's just shrugging it off, like, there's no proof. What do you mean there's no proof?
It's not right.
You want me to tell you how many guys I know in federal prison that there was 10 times less proof than what you've already got? There were no pictures, there were no emails, no text, no computer, no nothing. Some guy said, I saw that guy with a gun, and he ended up getting 5 years. You're telling me you've got a guy smoking crack with guns, convicted felon, computer,
he's going down for
wired money. You got all of this stuff, and you're saying that you don't have enough proof? Give me a like that.
He's good. You know what I found interesting also? You know how quickly they released Trump's booking photo and Giuliani and others? His booking photo hasn't been released yet. And Fox News has filed a Freedom Information Act to try to get that released. So I'm kind of curious to see Hunter's booking photo, how he looks on these federal charges, what's going on. Why are they concealing Hunter's? We need to see Hunter's face, and we'll put that on another thumbnail too when we get it. I'm definitely doing it. I'm doing my channel. I've been doing a lot of shorts also, and in the books, I think I'll definitely do one on him. And one more political note here, which is important. That's we talked about Boebert or Boebert, her name. We talked about Hunter. Gavin Newsom. What a horrible governor in California. Probably the worst governor California's ever had. Just the other day, I did a short on this. You can check it out, folks. He just signed to law, making it one of the most restrictive states, even with a concealed weapons permit. Even if you've been trained, you're certified, you've done everything you can, you still can't take your gun in private in public locations. He's made it impossible. It will be a felony. And on top of that, he's doubled the state sales tax on any new gun purchases in the state. So now it's over 12%. 12% just because you want to buy a firearm in the state of California. Unbelievable what we have done. He has targeted the wrong people. While the criminals, as you guys can attest to, the criminals, the mass shooters do not follow the laws. They have just weakened and victimized more the people in the state of California because now they cannot defend. And the criminals know that because they say, hey, do you want to cop a felony? Oh, I have a concealed weapon, but I'm in a location where I can't have a gun. Well, I don't care. I'm going to come and do whatever I want because I know you're a law-abiding citizen and you're not going to do that. Yeah. Newsom is completely clueless, not understanding the root of this problem. Crime. And a lot of the sheriffs are outraged what he's done. He has targeted the wrong people. Check it out, folks.
Crime is out of control in California because of him. And I disagree with you a little bit, Matt, because you said the charismatic guys, you like them. I noticed all the charismatic presidents turn out to be disasters because they're so arrogant. You know, they can smooth talk the ladies and the cameras that are good on camera.
Oh, that's Bill Clinton.
Guys, and they turn out to be disasters, most of them, when it comes down to character of fulfilling their duties. You know, you have. Listen,
no doubt it takes no doubt it typically takes a jackass to get the job done. I agree. Like when people talk about, and I'm not saying I'm like, listen, like if you said, hey, you know, Biden or Trump, it'd be Trump. If you said between, you know, Chris Christie and Trump, it'd be Trump. Between, you know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, trust me, Trump's up there. Right. I'm saying he's not my first choice. He's probably my second or third choice. But I also think that take DeSantis, like what a jackass this guy turned out to be. Like he's a great governor. And when I heard he was running for president, I was like, oh wow, like he'll be president. Then when I heard Trump is going to run against him and he's still going to run, I thought, wait a second, you fucked up. Like you need to back out. And then when people were putting the question to DeSantis, like, would you consider vice president? Well, I'm not really a second chair kind of guy. Listen, jackass, you should take vice president with Trump. You guys are a shoo-in then. Instead, and I knew he was arrogant anyway. That's fine. Like you're already arrogant. Like now but I'm arrogant, but my arrogance typically doesn't get in the way of making a good decision. Not that it hasn't in the past, it has. But I'm saying DeSantis is young enough that if he said, I don't want to be vice president with Trump, he could have bowed out and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait. I'm young. I'm successful. I've got a great track record. Yeah. I can wait. But he's thinking, no, I smashed the elections in Florida. I can win presidency. You cannot win it against Trump.
Not against Trump. I think Vivek sees that, Matt, and I think he was really campaigning to become his Veep.
And that would be great. That would be great.
That's exactly why I'm waiting till 2028.
I told you that, Bill. I said you had no chance. No one has a chance in 2028. And again, and I'm considering. I'm still considering. There's a lot of factors there to run for Congress. I'm still taking a shot. Obviously, we've got a lot of projects here in the works. ATF Undercover doing well, and Audible and everything else. Have the script done. Production. More people are looking at it. At the work now, and we'll try and get the pilot done and then have done to a series. So those are things I think can be very nice projects, and then we'll see about the other stuff right there. But with Newsom, man, if you're in California, they have called it the Great Escape. Everybody is leaving California. I know you've been on his show before, Patrick David. Mm-hmm. He talks about why he left California, right? Of course. Everybody talks about. And everybody's talking about why they're leaving California. It's just overtaxation, overregulation. It is just absolutely unacceptable, especially you take away gun rights and how gangs, especially I'm back. I worked about, I don't know if you guys know this, I worked about 8 months in Los Angeles with a gang unit with a special project out there. When I was from Tampa, I went out there on a TDY and I saw firsthand, it is really infested with gangs. And really the state, you don't get the time you should be. And they want the feds to take everything. And you only pick and choose so many. And then they early release them and they go back to their cycle. And these guys are just looking to hit again. And, you know, they have the Bloods, the Crips, you have all the Hispanic gangs out there, MS-13. It is just infested with just bad stuff. And then on top of that, you have, you know, 1%ers and everything else out there. It's just a place you really don't want to be with. And when the locals and the state can't really get a hit on it, it's bad news.
Unless you're in a gang.
Unless you're in a gang or a shoplifter.
And make sure you don't piss anybody with a gang, because gang members love to kill themselves all the time.
Listen, if I was in a gang, that's the place to be. I can be armed, and I know none of these civilians are armed. I can, if I get caught, I'm going in and out of jail real quick. I know that my sentence is going to be light. I know that there's tons of drug addicts. I know the cops are fucking I don't want to do shit to me. They don't even want to do their jobs because their hands are tied are tied behind their back. Like that's the place to be. If I was a gang member, like I'm going to California.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sad situation, man.
And if you walk through the streets, it is disgusting. Yeah. That place there, so LA, downtown LA and San Francisco is absolute filth.
Yeah.
I was in Los Angeles a few months ago and in Fresno. Both of them are completely destroyed, disgusting cities. Unfortunately, there's homeless all over the place. You go to a 7-Eleven, there's like 15 of them begging for money and food. And they need a place to live or to help them with something, with resources. But
it pays to be homeless there. That's what kills me. You give people benefits, and then when people show up to collect the benefits in droves, you go, what's happening? You gave them benefits. You benefited. There is a benefit to being homeless.
They incentivize it.
Right.
Yeah, Why you gotta get them out? It's a health issue there. There's crime issues there. There's so many reasons why you have to get that and clean up. Believe it or not, even Newsom, I think, realized that his policies are a failure. But now that he's thinking about maybe running for president, now he realized he's got to figure out a quick plan. So when he runs, if he runs, he might, because they're tired of Biden. They don't think he can win now because of his issues. And they don't want Kamala running either. She's another disaster. We've talked about her on previous shows, her cackling, and she's just a big word. Between both of them, they're just the ultimate word salad. You go in the dictionary, randomly pick words, it makes more sense than what they say. If you listen to her talk, she is an absolute disaster. And if you haven't seen the video of her in the DMZ in Korea, right in the South Korea, she calls North Korea a greatest ally ever. I thought it was a deep fake. When I saw, oh my God, look at this great oh no, she really did that. If she stepped in the media, they didn't really even. If it was Dan Quayle, right? There have been potato. Oh, what a big thing. He misspelled potato. Oh my God, look at that. He's the vice president right there. Sarah Palin. Oh my God, they're all over Sarah Palin. Were quiet. So that shows what stuff out there. That's why most people have stopped watching the left or right. And I'm going to talk quickly here about one other one on Fox News. How I am just disgusted with Brett Baier. I used to like the guy. Do you know who Brett Baier is? He used to be the face of Fox. He has that show at 6:30. He's like the Walter Cronkite of our time, like Anderson Cooper. Big name out there. He goes to Saudi Arabia. He just did the show about a couple days ago with the Saudis. We talk about Mohammed bin Salman. What a corrupt regime. I've talked about this in here. Jamal Khashoggi, the murder of the columnist journalist that happened in the embassy in Istanbul, right? He was obviously gave the orders to do it, dismembered him. They covered it up. We talked about in length all the stuff they did. He did the same thing with other royal family members. How many accidents are happening in cars and planes with his own royal family? Because he doesn't care, because he's in power. They challenged him. He makes them disappear also. If you look into that, and then other ranking members at the Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh, he had a major shakedown, major royal other family members where they pretty much stripped money from their bank accounts to get beatings. And yet now you're there meeting with this guy promoting. It was like a commercial. I felt it was a commercial promoting the new resorts they're building, the new golf courses they're doing out there. Hey, this is tourism, because they know oil is a thing of the past. With the Americans going electric, we're doing other things. We're trying to cut back. So they need other factors there. And there is with a guy who's committing all these horrible acts, shaking his hands, talking about his handicap and what a great guy he is. I can't watch Fox. There's no credibility anymore. This guy, it's like saying dealing with Fidel Castro or dealing with Putin or shaking hands with this guy. Is at that level. He is really
there's corruption and inappropriate behavior in both parties. I think overall, though, the Democratic Party is destroying this country. And if you want to live like they do in California, which is super high crime and dangerous, continue to vote Democrat. What I find amazing is many Democrats are leaving that party. Some of them who have a brain are actually waking up and seeing that their policies are not working, and they're leaving the party.
Yeah, well, I think people will be leaving Fox News after that disaster. Then Mohammed bin Salman. I mean, the point with him was that how much they pay him to go out there for Fox to go out there and do this whole. It was a puff piece. It was a puff piece out there. And if anybody looks into Mohammed bin Salman, they'll see more of this stuff here, which shows why I even stopped watching Fox. I used to like Fox. I don't even watch them anymore. You can't trust any of these guys. You can't trust CNN. You can't trust MSNBC, Fox. You know, and I feel bad for RFK Jr. I think we've talked about him in the past. I think he is what they've done to him now against Biden. He won't debate him. He's banned now from campaigning in Iowa and New Hampshire. And if he does, whatever delegates he gets won't go to him. The DNC has rigged the system completely. Well, he has no choice now but to run as independent and to pretty much knock Biden out of the picture, because that's what he deserves. Just like Anderson did to Carter and Reagan won, Perot did to Bush in 92. Right. RFK Jr. is going to do to Biden and knock him out. Now, is it going to be Trump? Hopefully not. I hope RFK can pull the upset. I think maybe it's time for something different, third-party candidate, because obviously a lot of people never liked Trump. I'm one of those people. I will never vote for Trump based on everything. Never did. You know what I did in the past, 2016 and 2020? I did write-in. I did Marco Rubio because Rubio stood up to him in 2016. I did a write-in because Rubio said to him, I remember in the debate, it said, listen, so if you didn't inherit your billions of dollars, you'd be selling cheap watches in downtown New York City, because that's the kind of guy you are. And that was one of the great lines.
That's not even remotely correct. Period. If you know Trump's history,
but he did say that
though. Business.
And I think I like that. And then he started going after him about other things. And I kind of wish he would have kept on with Trump, but then people gave him a hard time. If you're going to go after a bully, someone who talks big, you have to go at the bully. Like Chris Christie said, I'm going to go at him, and I'm going to go at him hard because I'm from there, and I'm going to hit him because he knows him. He knows his family. He knows where he can hit him. And I'm going back to Saudi Arabia because of the Kushners got $2 billion from this crown prince. And this guy had no experience in anything. Watch this. This is another bill, another big pay-to-play scheme. The Kushners got $2 billion after he left from the Saudis. This is another dirty pay-to-play scheme, and we're going to watch this closely here. The corruption within both these families is bad, and I'm a fair guy. I don't like when I see corruption, because you know what? We have to work for our money, and you join that to cash in on the White House, you are a piece of work.
You're primarily a Miami, South Florida guy, right?
I worked a lot.
You're a Cuban American descent. It's no secret you're going to vote for little Marco.
I like Rubio, yeah. But I don't always still vote for like, for example, look at Menendez up in New Jersey, right? He's Cuban American, also corrupt.
Oh my God, he's another one with gold and cash in his house.
So there is corruption, and he's a Democrat, right? But look at the media. They don't like to say Democrat. They say corrupt senator. No. Yeah, right. If it was Republican, they has it. So this is the things I call fair, Bill. And as a federal agent, that's one thing I've done. Corruption is corruption, and everybody has to be held accountable, because without that, then we are a country, a banana republic. And I do not want to live in a banana republic. I want a country where wrong is wrong and people are held accountable, period.
What do you think, Matt? Where do you get your news, and what do you think about this corruption going on in politics?
I mean, I think there's just tons of corruption. Like I would love I would love to see the FBI actually do their job, and the prosecutors do their job, and just hit all the, I mean, Democrat or Republican. I like to see them hit them straight across, crack every one of their heads open.
Good.
You know, like that. To me, that's the only way that people go when you're in public, you're a public official, and somebody comes to you and says, hey, look, here's what we want to do. And you feel like you may not be saying what's happening, but I know what's happening. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not doing that.
Right.
Well, because it could be construed as me giving you favors.
Optics.
Right, if you say, look, they just busted so and so, he went to jail for 3 years. They got this guy, he went to jail for 6 years. This guy went to jail for 2 years. This guy was put on trial and he got acquitted, but damn if it didn't cost him $300,000 to do it, and now he's no longer in politics. A bunch of shit came out. Honestly, I can't be involved in this. I make my little bit of money. The other thing I think should happen is there shouldn't be career politicians. Maybe you run for 4 terms and that's it.
That's it.
You can't run. You can't be doing this 30 years.
30. Biden was like 45.
Yeah, you can't. No, because then you would get people in there that are genuinely there because they're doing it for the betterment of the country. They're doing it because they want to do the right thing, not because, hey, I want to get my $350,000 a year, but I'm going to make a couple million on the side. Like, no, because if you're only in there for, 3 or 4 terms, then at least the cash grab is limited.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
I love in the 90s when there was all this footage of Biden talking about he was calling blacks super predators and, all this incarceration.
Oh, yeah. And he was talking about crack, like they should go to jail for 20 years.
Yeah. Now he has reversed himself. Yeah.
Asset forfeiture and all this for somebody with a crack addiction.
Of course, he's a blatant liar in general. I mean, they've caught him in so many lies when he was 20 years ago. I was, whatever it was. It was valedictorian or graduated top of my class and went to this school and I have a master's degree in that. All this ridiculous.
Any of that. He doesn't have any of that. He played football at Delaware and he wasn't even very good at that even.
Yeah, no.
There was another Spanish congressman, I forgot his name, that got disgraced the same way recently. Everything on his CV, his resume was fraudulent. All his degrees and everything else he did.
Oh, Santos. Yeah.
Santos. There you go.
Yeah, he's but that guy, he's out there because he's also a drag queen also.
Okay, there you go.
He's a drag but going back to Boebert, Boebert, talking about family values, Boebert, is a big national Christian. Hypocrisy at the most with her. Her date had a bar that had drag queen nights, right?
Oh, man.
So it was hypocrisy because she didn't care because she was doing all this stuff. So she says one thing and then allegedly she does other things, right?
Let's all agree that both parties do that. Let's wrap this show here. So we're going to come circle back on politics. Now, everybody, we got Matt Cox, Inside True Crime. Check him out. Links in the description. His book is Shark in a Real Estate Pool. What's the title of your book again?
So sad.
It's
Shark in the Housing Pool, but that's fine.
Close. There's a pool and there's a shark. There we go. We got them both in there.
You go. So we're going to have that on the link in the description. Ignacio, ATF Undercover, and a litany of other books about his time in law enforcement, familiarity with cases. And I have a couple of true crime books out as well. We'll throw some images up, links in the description. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Guys, any final notes?
No.
Well, let me just give a shout out to Sean Milo, a great voice actor. Did my ATF Undercover book and the most dangerous crime syndics of our time. Top 70 in organized crime. Is doing well. It's been out a week. It's kicking butt. So please check it out.
Got it. And for my case, let's shout out to my producer, Joe Ruzer, from Inmate to Roommate, phenomenal reality show producer. He's done I love After Lockup. We have almost 12 million views now on TikTok. Nice. And can't talk to you about season 2, but stay tuned. And I also want to thank my future voters because I'm running for president in 2028. And Ignacio for Congress. And Matt, what are you running for? Mayor?
Me? Listen, I just want to get off federal probation. And I just want to be able to maybe get a house and build a studio that's not my living room. How
about the mayor of Wesley Chapel? You run for the mayor of
Wesley Chapel. I don't know. I listen. I have nobody wants me calling the shots. I mean,
I like what you said though.
I'd be brutal.
Clean house. I like that. You Operation Broom Sweep. Got to sweep them out underneath the rug.
So anyway, I like Dixon said, I'm not a crook. I'm saying I was a crook. Vote for me. At least you know what you're getting. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Wrapping it up here. Folks. Check us out on Still the Spotlight TV and William Steele True Crime. See you guys next time.